The pursuit of selflessness, a cornerstone in many philosophical and religious teachings, often conjures images of asceticism, sacrifice, and relinquishing material possessions. However, there are many approaches to selflessness, rooted not in the physical renunciation of the world, but in profound transformations of the mental state. Through this path, a journey toward selflessness is navigated by interpreting life's myriad experiences as symbolic messages, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of selflessness without necessitating the abandonment of our worldly life. In the symbolism of nature, we can observe a tree shedding its leaves in autumn. This natural process symbolizes letting go of old, unneeded parts of ourselves, beliefs, prejudices, or ego-driven desires to make room for new growth and new perspectives. As regards interpersonal relationships as mirrors, we encounter conflict with colleagues. Instead of reacting defensively, we may view this as a symbol to reflect on inner conflicts and biases, fostering empathy and understanding, and thus moving towards selflessness. There are many daily challenges that exist as lessons. Facing a financial setback, for example. Rather than succumbing to stress, we can interpret this as a lesson in detachment from material wealth and a call to find richness in non-material aspects of life. We may also find acts of kindness form a kind of self-reflection, helping a stranger in need, for example. This act becomes a mirror reflecting our own capacity for compassion, pushing us to transcend self-centered motives and embrace a selfless mindset. Likewise, we can use failures as guides. Experiencing any personal failure presents such a challenge. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, we can see this as a symbol to cultivate humility and resilience, essential qualities on the path to selflessness. Even success provides a test. Achieving any significant personal goal invites us to interpret this success as a test of ego, an opportunity to practice humility and gratitude rather than falling into arrogance or self-congratulation. For their part, art and creativity also exist as expressions of the collective, and engaging in creative work allows us to view this not as a means for personal glory, but as a way to contribute to the collective human experience, thus diminishing the ego and fostering selflessness. Silence too exists as a teacher. When we embrace moments of silence, we find that in these quiet times there are opportunities to listen to the deeper self and the universe, encouraging shifts from self-centric to selfless thinking. Suffering, too, is a kind of transformation. Enduring physical or emotional pain, for example, we may see that rather than resenting such suffering, we can also understand it as a transformative force guiding us toward empathy and a deeper connection with the suffering of others. Joy, too, as a shared experience. Experiencing moments of joy mean that instead of viewing these as personal triumphs, we can also see them as universal experiences to be shared, reinforcing the interconnectedness of all beings. In Buddhism, the concept of selflessness, called anatta or anatman in Sanskrit, is a fundamental principle. Many Buddhist texts focus on this concept. The Dhammapada says that all phenomena are not self, and this succinctly captures the essence of anatta, emphasizing that all things, including the self, are impermanent and devoid of an intrinsic, unchanging essence. Another text, the Anattalakkhana Sutta, known as the Discourse on the Not-Self characteristic, tells us that form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, mental formations are not self, consciousness is not self. If consciousness were the self, this consciousness would not lead to affliction. This text is one of the earliest and most direct expositions on the concept of not-self. The Heart Sutra also tells us that form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Form is not different from emptiness. Emptiness is not different from form. While not explicitly using the word selflessness, this famous Mahayana text delves into the concept of emptiness known as sunyata, which is closely related to the idea of no self. The Diamond Sutra also says that a bodhisattva should develop a mind which does not abide in anything. This teaching encourages the practitioner to let go of attachments and concepts, including the concept of self. The Majjhima Nikaya tells us that this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. This text contains many discourses that discuss the non-self characteristic of existence. The Samyutta Nikaya tells us also that just as a chariot is termed a chariot due to the aggregation of parts, so is the conventional self designated by physical and mental aggregates. These texts and quotes reflect the Buddhist teaching that understanding and realizing the concept of not-self or selflessness is essential for liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. This journey towards selflessness does not demand a life of poverty or physical deprivation, but calls for a profound shift in mental perspective. By interpreting life's experiences as symbolic messages, we gradually detach from egocentric views and move toward a state of selflessness. This path is not linear, but a dynamic process where each moment and experience, whether mundane or extraordinary, becomes a stepping stone toward the ultimate goal of complete selflessness.